Hello, my bullet journaling friends. We are coming at you with a February setup that I am super happy to do because it was so fun. I got some inspiration off of Instagram and Pinterest and kind of took it from there. So we're starting out this cover page. I have decided to go back down to just one page, well, this time at least. Who knows what the next time will be. I'm not going to put rules on this bullet journal. I think that kind of takes away my creativity. If next month I want to go back to a full page spread for my cover page, I'm more than welcome to. It's my bullet journal, right? All right. So starting out with this alpha stamp from Allie Edwards, and I love this one. It is super fun, and the next thing I want to do is get the lowercase, so I just haven't been able, I've been really trying to cut back on my spending this last couple of months, and just, it's not a need, it's a want. So all right, so obviously stamping out February, I am using Kish Flamingo, I think is what it's called, in the Distress Oxides. Some of my favorite colors is in the Distress Oxide line. So, all right, so as you can see by the pencil marks, here is kind of my design. I definitely didn't want the, theme that everybody's gonna kind of go with is the hearts and all that kind of stuff, though I love I was about to go with like some like cascading hearts, but I just did want something a little bit different, so I kind of took more of like a geometric I don't know, 90s vibe is this? I have no idea. Let me know in the comments below what kind of theme you think this is, because I really don't have a theme for it. Maybe like a color block? Maybe a color block. But I am using a Tombow marker, and I'm not in my office right now to tell you the color, so I will leave that color number in the description below for you guys. And then 2 Crayola Super Tips. Again, something that I unfortunately can't tell you the color of because they don't have numbers or anything like that. So, and kind of just, drawing some boxes and rectangles and making them go above and below it and all that kind of stuff. So I actually had a lot of fun doing this one. It was definitely like a more therapeutic, I would have to say. Spread is where I could just kind of color, like nothing had to be too perfect, nothing had to be straight and use 1.5 million rulers. I just kind of needed to fill the space with a bunch of rectangles, thin, fat, square, that kind of thing. Just adding a nice drop shadow to those. I think that this is a great way to definitely step up your stamps and add a little bit more of that 3D effect to them. So I have been adding drop shadows to just about everything these days. We're gonna finish up the bottom half of this and just put this to music, as like I said, this was definitely a little bit of a relaxing moment for me, so let's just do it to some music. All right, so I love how it turned out. Now I am going to add a few of those hearts that we talked about earlier and just sprinkle those through with all of the colors. I think this purple is one of my favorite colors that I picked out when I was testing. So, all right, so moving on to our February monthly spread. Of course, carrying the theme into here, so using that same stamp set to do February again. Honestly, if I would have thought about it, I should have just like stamped it all at the same time to save time. But again, I was just kind of doing this one night, watching a show. That's kind of just how I do them. Some months, I don't have all of the time in the world to set these up, and so I do them quite quickly and while I'm doing other things. And some months I do have more time to set up my monthly spreads. So we are going to kind of do the same thing. You are going to notice though that I mess up pretty big. Not for some people though, but I am not a Monday start person on my calendars. Totally messes up my brain. I don't know why. I think I'm just really set on the Sunday start. Though I do like the fact that it puts my weekends together. My brain just doesn't compute a calendar like that though. I don't know why. Maybe it's something more to get used to, but originally everything is fine. This is exactly how the month is supposed to set up. It's when I go to stamp out the days of the week here, down the line that, sorry about my head getting in the way, that you're going to see that I completely mess everything up. Just finishing that portion up, always using the Papermate Flare, of course, for any line work, though I might switch over and get a thicker lined, I'm forgetting the word, micron. There we go. Couldn't remember it, because you will see here in not so much this one, but in my social media calendar, that I had to kind of like go around the lines because the pink was picking up, because obviously Tombows are water soluble. So I think I might get the micron, a thicker micron here soon, so that I don't have to worry about that. Put a gray shadow for the top just to make that calendar stand out a little bit more, and then to go along with my theme, I did just make those long rectangle, and there's my mistake right there, guys. I start with a Monday. I have no idea what I did or why I did that, and I thought about it for a minute, and I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. We're gonna move on. So anyways, so I just made those pink, like longer ones, so that for my days of the week, which I messed up. So why that's going to mess up is because now the day, I only started with the first day, and now that first day is really going to be the second, because Thursday is the second, Wednesday was the first day. But it's not the end of the world. It's probably not going to mess me up too bad. If it does, I'll just go and put the first back over in January, so that I can, if I have something that ends on that day, like I said, I'm not going to worry about it too bad. Things happen, right? All right, I am just using the stamp set from Allie Edwards. I think this was one of her Week in a Life stamp sets from last year. And then going to start the whole process with these lovely little geometric boxes. And honestly, this is just all random. Like, I just kind of go about it all randomly and make these boxes. There's no like pattern that I'm following. I just kind of go with whatever I'm feeling. I do make sure that they are interacting with the side of the page. I think that definitely is something that you kind of start learning throughout the process that makes the patterns at least look more, I don't know, put together. There we go, put together. Is to have things start interacting with the side of the page. There are 2 boxes on the bottom of my monthly spread. One will be a stat page where I always put my social media numbers, and the other one will be just like a spot to put things that need to happen in March or notes that I want to make, things that just need to get written down that until I get March set up, pretty much. All right, about to finish up this one. Just a few more boxes over here, and we will move on to the next spread, which will be the social media calendar. So one calendar that I have taken out of my setup is my meal planning calendar. I was just getting bogged down on how many calendars I was setting up every single month. I also thought it was a little bit of waste of space. So now I am putting all of my meal planning on my original monthly calendar. And it worked out pretty well this month. I'm going to do it for one more month and see how it goes. It does definitely make my monthly calendar nice and full. So maybe if that is not your jam and you like, your monthly calendar to be a little bit more simple or clean, probably not the way to go, and make yourself another calendar. You could do it other ways where you could do more of a list setup so that you didn't have to make another calendar. Maybe I'll try that next month and do a list that might help plan out a grocery list a little bit more also. So going back with this same font again, I know I do, because obviously I'm using a close to my heart. I didn't realize this is several days later. Actually, I did take a break and do this page several days later. As you can see, my hair's not up and I'm in a different shirt. So I switched to Blush, I believe it was Blush by Close to My Heart. Just did not remember that I had used the pink from, is that Blush? It looks like Blush. Which is fine. It's no big deal. But I am using that soft pink Tombow to do my lines, and this is where I was talking about how I have to kind of, instead of just being able to do one long line, as you can see on that top row, it was definitely picking up that black and dragging it. So I just went box by box and made my top line, but that is probably where I need to use a micron. All right, so putting in my numbers, I did leave the first 3 boxes just because eventually I'm going to be, flipping between the 31st and the 1st. And I kind of like to double rate what my social media plans are that day, just so that I'm not flipping back 45 million times in the last couple of days of January. Next, this worked quite well for me last month. Sometimes I was not updating it as well, but by the end of the month, I definitely started getting back on track and updating it a lot. I am posting to 2 different YouTube channels and an Instagram channel. So lots to organize and lots of content to keep up on, along with another Facebook group for my photography business. And so it's just a lot. And keeping a tracker along this line, sorry that my head came back into the view, for at least the YouTube videos definitely works really well for me. So here I am just tracking every day of the week and what video goes out on what day. And then these lines are for when I have either printed or planned. So on days that it is for my scrapbooking channel, it is printed, and for days for this channel, it is planned. Then filmed, edited, a thumbnail created, if it has been published or scheduled to be published. So those are everything that I am tracking on here. And then just filling this in, you are going to see that I am going to leave that bottom of this page, because last month I tried to do an Instagram tracker down below. It didn't work out well, as I did not leave myself enough space. So I am going to try something a little bit different this month, but I haven't quite figured out what it is at this point. So yeah, I'll probably share that over on Instagram in the next coming month, or like weeks, months, a couple of days. Right, just writing in those steps of what I need to take. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. On my other channel, I am 2 or 3 videos ahead of myself, and even on this channel, I am 2 videos already planned and scheduled. So look at me go, trying to get ahead of schedule so I'm not always working for the next day, pretty much is what I'm trying to work for. So all right, going to do my drop shadows. I always usually do my drop shadows with the N69, I believe it is, 65, N65. That's what it is. I'm like N60, what is that one? N65. It's a nice light, neutral, warm gray. Yeah. I do need to maybe step at the Hobby Lobby and see, because that's the only place that I have found that sells them singly, and unfortunately I am hearing that Hobby Lobby is probably getting rid of this area, so that makes me sad. And to finish this up, as I know this video is getting a little bit longer, but I'm a fan of longer videos. Let me know in the comments below if you're a fan of the longer videos or shorter videos. Come to find out that I like the longer videos. It makes me not have to go back and pick another video out so quickly, and I can kind of get some work done and then, then pick another one. All right, so this is the journaling part of my bullet journal, and this part of my bullet journal has been probably giving me the most challenge on how I want to do it. I really would love to set up something along the line of how Heba does it and Crystalline Unite, but I really just don't want to take too much time on the days. And then just some days I don't have that much to write, whereas some other days I have a lot more to write. I don't know. And I feel like this notebook isn't going to get me 6 months. And that makes me pretty sad. It's already looking like it's probably only gonna make me until like the end of May. And I thought I was actually saving more room, not doing, you know, my monthly meal plan and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. All right, back to what I'm doing. I really didn't have a plan going into this, but I was going through my stash and found that I have these heart stencils, and I was like, oh, look at this. Probably bought these a long time ago and just never got to use them, but I want to use more of these stencils and stuff in my bullet journal. So I was pretty happy. One thing I wasn't happy about is I did kind of grab too dark of a color. Wish I would have grabbed mink instead of pewter. Pewter is just a little too dark, and I had already stamped the numbers, so and these two inks are dye inks, so they kind of just go right over top of each other. So what I did to try and make the numbers stand out a little bit more, though, is just go over them with a Tombow, and I think it helped a little bit. So I think my next week is going to be a little bit different, and I will record that also. I think I'm going to do a little bit more planning on my end with that, and show you guys. But I did change the way I will write in the journaling. I am not going to do it just in a horizontal spread. I'm just getting really annoyed with that, not annoyed, bored with that, and so I did want to change it up a little bit. So there was no rhyme and reason to this. I literally just fit 4 boxes, one day bigger, one day smaller, that type of thing, and yeah, worked with it in that regards. So we'll see how this week goes for me, and probably change it up for the next week. But so that is the end of my monthly February setup. I love how it turned out. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one.